What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BREW-BRG. My name is Corey, also known as that TCG Guy on the internet, and it's an obnoxious time in the morning, 1:18 a.m. to be exact. But the content grind stops for nobody, so we keep going until we literally shut down. It's gonna probably happen. That got dark real quick. Anyway, we're here with another BREW-BRG episode. Today we're hanging out with a new buddy of mine, Lyonix. Awesome dude. He did a lot of Pokemon streams. He still does some Pokemon streams, but he's moved recently into the world, or not, I guess not recently. He'll talk about it in the thing. You'll see it. Moved into Magic. Now plays a lot of Commander. Streams Commander like 3 times a week. Dude's a beast. Very excited to have him on the episode. And today we are building. Pop it right here. Oop, there it is. A little kiss. We're playing. It's so late. I'm so tired. We built Rodolf Duskbringer. I think it's Rodolf. I called him Rudolph for like half of the stream we built him. So who knows? Let's just jump into it. I'm gonna keep devolving into just a pile of nothing soon. So let's just go. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BREW-BRG. My name's Corey, and this definitely isn't the second time we've done this because I forgot to hit record. But here we are. No, totally not. Don't ask questions. Stop asking questions. That's not cool. Anyway, we're here with Lyonix, also known as Lion. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on the channel.
Very excited to have you here. So in previous episodes of BREW-BRG, for those of you who are familiar, we kind of just do like a quick intro and then jump right into the deck building things. Recently I was on Benji the Brewer stream, very similar style to this, where we built the deck live on stream, but during it he like asked some interview questions to kind of like keep things loosey goosey, and I thought about kind of adding some of those into this to get you guys familiar with who the guests are, so you get a little bit more backstory to them. It's not just like, hey, here's this person, hey, here's this deck, here we are. So Lyonix, Lion, you were a Pokemon streamer, now you just kind of stream Magic. Like, what's the story there?
So I started my streaming career about 3 years ago, playing competitive Pokemon on the mainline games. I was playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I do have a bit of a taste for the competitive scene when it comes to playing games, and Pokemon captured that for me at first. So I was doing that on Twitch, and then I was playing Pokemon Unite a lot. I love Pokemon, you guys can probably tell just by looking behind me, but burnout's a thing. So I've been playing Magic the Gathering for about 8 years, and I decided, hey, why not try to rope that into my streaming content, so that way I can get the best of both worlds. So I'm currently taking a bit of a break from Pokemon. I do it here and there, definitely not forsaking it or anything like that, but been streaming and playing Commander on Twitch lately, meeting all sorts of awesome people, and it's been an absolute blast so far, and I'm honestly just loving it. So we're gonna keep doing that, and yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Very cool, very cool, awesome. So you said in the first time we did this, you've been playing Magic for about 8 years, right? So did you start with Commander? How did you get into Commander from when you started?
So when I began, it was around the time I think Shadows over Innistrad was being spoiled, or something. I can't exactly remember, but I remember that the Dragons of Tarkir had come out and were very popular. I built at first around the Dragon Lord Silumgar. I built this just based off the basic rules of Magic Standard, the Silumgar deck. But I didn't know anything about Standard. It was technically a modern deck because I just picked cards that I knew existed. Yep. I didn't know anything about the rules, so I built that, and then I built a werewolf deck because I'm a big fan of like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that, and loved it so much and thought it was so good because it was beating all my friends. I was like, I'm gonna go to a game shop and I'm gonna play in a tournament. Now this is gonna do really, really well. I'm gonna take home some prizes. Showed up to that tournament, and my first game was against a guy playing Grixis Control, and I did not win anything. I lost horribly, just basically face planted, embarrassed myself, walked out empty-handed, and was about to completely stop playing Magic at that point because I thought, if this is what it is, I don't really want to play it because like I was embarrassed.
Yep.
Let's just say that. And then I found out about Commander, which basically was exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be able to play whatever cards I could find. I wanted to be able to play bigger, more creative, interesting decks, and this is exactly where I'm at now. So I don't mind playing. Like, I have a modern deck, I've played standard, I play on arena to kind of sharpen my abilities and my skills, but mainly playing commander. So that's how we got to where we are.
Nice. So what would you say is your like favorite commander deck that you're playing currently? Like, if the one you could pick one of your commander decks to play forever from now on, what would it be?
Gotcha. So amongst I think I have 7 decks right now. I want to tell you guys it's my white-black Life Gain deck. I would say in terms of bringing that into a pod, that's going to be the most fun for everyone. But if we're going to go into the more dangerous section of my collection, I would probably tell you guys it's my mono-black Yawgmoth deck. Nice. Which is it's mono black aristocrats with a theme of planeswalkers to make use of that proliferate ability on him, and it's a ton of fun. It's decked out, it's got foil Japanese artwork lands in it. I love it to death. That's my most favorite deck to play, but it's very strong. So if I were to give you a deck that I feel is more fun for everyone, including myself, together, I would say it's my white black Elos Ilkor Life Gain deck, not aristocrats.
Yep.
Life Gain.
Cool. Got it. Yep. Cool. All right. So that being said, ironically enough, what did we work on tonight?
Well, if you guys don't know anything about me, you're about to know, and you should probably already know, but it is that I am a black mage, basically. Black is my favorite color in Magic the Gathering. And tonight we built Rodolf the Duskbringer, who is a white-black Orzhov vampire angel with flying, death touch, and lifelink, 4/4 for 6 mana. Whenever you gain life, Rodolf Duskbringer gains indestructible until end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 2 mana, 1 and a white or black. When you do, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn.
It's fancy. It's good.
Lots to unpack.
It is a lot to unpack there. It's a bit of, life gain. It's a bit of indestructible protection, and then it's a bit of recursion. It's got all the fun stuff that Orzhov wants to do, all stable into one creature. So how do we arrive at Rodolf? Like, what drew you to this card?
So it's a relatively new card, and it's basically, when I look at this card, I think of the card Marin of Clan Neltoth, and most Magic the Gathering players are familiar with who Marin is or what the card is, because it's been one of the most popular commanders of late history, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Rodolf kind of has that same effect of bringing a creature back to your battlefield at your end step, only he cares about life gain and is white-black instead of green-black. So you can play a lot of the same cards you play in a Marin deck, but with this creature being an angel, we have the opportunity to dive into a tribe that doesn't really see much love at time currently. So that would be Angel Tribal, and we kind of came up with this idea on the fly, but basically this commander is going to allow us to involve the synergies of graveyard recursion, life gain, and then adding that Angel Tribal as a third theme to be the creatures that we're recurring and bringing back to the battlefield. It does a lot of really cool things. It did kind of spawn from my idea, or my deck that I currently have, Elos Ilkor. I have Rodolf in that deck because he triggers off of life gain. And I was looking at the card like, man, this card could go in so many different directions that I can't really go with my current life gain deck. And yeah, we're here now, and we brewed it, and we've got a sweet deck list, I think.
Yeah.
To talk about.
It's definitely, it's funny. Every week I'm like, man, I can't like a deck more than the one I'm doing right now. And then I do the next one. I'm like, this deck is fucking sweet. It's good. I'm really excited to see. I hope I get to see this played in some capacity over the next couple of weeks, which would be great. Cool. So so you mentioned like the angel theme. How is this deck trying to win? Are we winning from life gain? Are we winning from creatures? Like, where are we going? How are we trying to win?
So that's a good question. So in terms of having this deck come out on top, basically it's probably going to be around creatures. We don't really have a lot of what you would consider your typical life gain win cons in this deck. A lot of people are running cards like Aether Flux Reservoir, Sanguine Bond, and Exquisite Blood. A lot of cards that basically take opponents out from behind a wall of some kind,
yep.
where you don't really have to rely on combat. But I've been having an absolute blast with decks that like to attack lately. Typically, they're a little bit more political and like battlefield centric, in my opinion, and that's where we wanted to go with this. So this deck is going to be winning by basically cheating angels into play, utilizing life gain in your graveyard as ways to do so. So a card that I actually didn't get around to suggesting for this deck, because for some reason I didn't think about it, would be cards like Bolas's Citadel, which basically lets you play cards by paying your life. But then we have our graveyard, which if you play any kind of graveyard deck, you know that you can cheat things into play from your graveyard that are very big for very low costs. And angels are very high costed cards, so we can use spells like reanimate and victimize to do exactly that. So this deck is trying to win by swinging with its flyers, and just bringing down that hammer of justice that the angels are so notorious for having. Yeah,
and flyers win games. Like it's a fact of Magic. Flyers beat faces.
The evasion is underrated, I think.
It is. All right, cool. So we've come to the point of the deck tech where we ask, if you had to pick 5, well, actually, how do I word this usually? If a stranger walked up to you on the street and they were like, hey, Lion, that's a super sweet deck you got there. Like, that looks really fun. If you had to tell me 5 cards out of that deck that you would want to tell a stranger, what would those 5 cards be and why?
Gotcha. So I would stray away from naming off cards like Bolas's Citadel, because those are kind of, if you're an experienced deck builder, or even if you're just an adept deck builder, you would know, okay, I want to put in those power 9, not truly power 9, but those deck or those cards that are basically right there in the auto includes. Yes. Yeah. So I would be suggesting niche cards that fit this strategy particularly well. So considering the fact that we are playing from our graveyard, gaining life, and playing angels, I'm going to suggest cards off of that. Cool. And the first one being Righteous Valkyrie, which is a 3-mana angel cleric with flying 2/4. Whenever another angel or cleric in his battlefield under your control, you can gain life equal to that creature's toughness. And then as long as you have 7 life more than your starting life total, you get an anthem of +2/+2 to all your creatures.
It's pretty good.
It's amazing. In a deck where you're playing creatures that are all going to be a lot more mana than 3, for 3 mana, you're getting a lot of value here. You're getting your life gain that you need. You're getting an angel, and you're getting an anthem effect for having more than 7 more life than where you started, and playing life gain. We're gonna get there. Yeah,
that's a good card. I really like that one.
Yeah, so that would be the first one I would suggest. It's a pretty cheap card. You know, it's only about $5-6. You know, all things considered. The next card I would suggest would be Ailey the Eternal Pilgrim. Now, you got to remember, we're playing from our graveyard, and what better way to get things in your graveyard than by sacrificing them? Yep. Ailey is allowing you, is a 2-mana core cleric with Death Touch, 2/3. You can sacrifice another creature by paying 1 mana, and you will gain life equal to that sacrificed creature's toughness. These angels are pretty big and beefy, so we can sacrifice them to gain that life and use Rodolf to bring them back immediately. And then it does have that nifty little piece there that allows us to pay 3 mana, sacrifice a creature, and exile a non-land permanent. And we're all talking about needing more removal on our decks, so why not jam that all into one card? Yep. Ailey is right there doing everything we need this deck to do.
Yeah, it's funny. This was one of the first cards I remember seeing before I played Commander, and thinking like, I would like to build some sort of deck around this. And I think at the time I built a standard deck, but this had that, like, it had the spark of like, this would be a fun deck or fun card to build around. So I can see why it's there.
Yes, it's one of my favorites. If I had to switch my current life gain deck over to a new commander, this would be one of my options. Just being a 2-mana commander, yeah, it's kind of busted.
Yep. All right, what else we got?
All right, so third on the list here, we have another angel coming in here, and this one hits every category, and I love this. Firja, Judge of Valor. Uncommon, an angel cleric, 2/4 with flying and lifelink for 5. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. That is a very powerful effect, and especially with what we're trying to do here. So not only is this an angel, which is on point with theme, but it has lifelink. So we are going to be able to gain life off this card. And more importantly, that triggered ability of casting our second spell is going to allow us to filter through and basically draw an additional card for that turn. But more importantly, we're going to be able to put some things into our graveyard, and that is where Rodolf needs our creatures to be. So you can filter through those top 3 cards, pull your instant or sorcery from among them, put the creatures in your graveyard where you want them to be, so that you can reanimate them later. It's all there.
Solid. That's a fun card.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely wasn't my idea to put that on this list, though.
That was a late ad. I was just going through the Angels and I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, this does the graveyard stuff we need. So.
Yeah, I almost want to say that that is deserving of a like a pseudo commander slot right there.
Oh yeah.
But fourth slot here, and this is actually going to be in literal flavor territory for Fjorja, is Fjorja's Retribution, which is a saga. And I hear you. There's a lot of people out there that believe sagas aren't that good in Commander, but this card will end the game for you if you play it correctly. So what we have here is a 4-mana black-white saga that for the first chapter is going to create us a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. Second chapter is going to give our angels the ability to tap and destroy a creature with power less than this creature's power, which is very powerful. We're going to be able to knock out the most threatening things on the board as long as their power is lower than our angels, and our angels are going to be big, trust me. And then third, and probably the more important part of this card, is that your angels gain double strike until end of turn, which if you have a board with angels on it, is probably going to get you, if not to, but very close to the end of the game.
Yep.
Double strike is insane.
On a bunch of flyers with lifelink, yes.
And
yes,
you can
please.
swing and you have no repercussions.
Nope. I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, a card that doesn't really fit in any other deck,
No.
if we're being honest.
No,
you got to be
need it.
playing black-white angels.
Yeah. Yep. You need angels and you need those colors, so fits in perfectly here.
Yeah, and then finally we have an uncommon to seal the deal here, and mainly because a lot of these uncommons and these cards that I'm naming off here will not be played in decks other than ones like this, which is something that can be very special when you're building a commander deck, is sitting down at the table and playing a card and everyone's like, what the heck is that? And you're like, let me show you. And having the synergy that these cards have is just tremendous. So the card I'm going to be sharing you guys here is the final card, is the Renegade Reaper, 3-mana uncommon 2/3 black angel. So points for being number one, having amazing artwork, but number two, when this card enters the battlefield, it mills 4 cards off of your library, and then if at least one angel was milled this way, you gain 4 life. So we are hitting 2 of our major categories here, actually 3 technically. We are filling our graveyard for some recursion. We are milling and gaining life, which is also huge. If Rodolf is in play and I have this card in hand, you can bet I'm excited for what I might see.
Yep.
And then thirdly, it's an angel. It's exactly what it needs to be. It's within our tribe. It's a flyer, and it's great sacrifice fodder if we don't need this anymore and you want to bring it back to the battlefield, mill another 4 cards.
Yep.
You really want to get Rodolf cooking, we can fill that graveyard up real quick. This card is criminally underrated for a deck of this style. I don't think this card though goes in any other deck really, unless you're playing Black Angels. I mean,
it's very situational, but the situation here works with it.
Yeah, it's a card that you won't play in anything else. You got to be playing Black Angels, and that's why I put it on this list, is because no one else is going to have this card on their list.
Nope.
Nobody.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's a good one. That's
so
really
those would be the 5 cards I would suggest, or I would be most excited to brag about if I were asked on the street.
Hell yeah. This is very, like I said, man, I'm excited for this deck. This one looks really fun, and I've said it in previous videos. I'm going to try to put together some sort of BREW-BRG EDH pod. So get everybody, or at least, maybe once a month, I'll get 4 people who have done these and pit everyone against each other and then stream that. I think that'd be really fun. So hopefully,
I want to play the deck, so sign me up.
If we do that, I'll get you in here for sure. All right, cool. Well, that's it. That's all we got. This is Rodolf Duskbringer. Once again, I said Rudolph. It's Rodolf. I don't know. Maybe we get like alternate art of like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a vampire angel, and that'd be great.
It's got to be like a jacked, like gothic looking, demon slaying Rudolph.
And it's got like all the like dead reindeer behind it, because clearly he like killed all the. Anyway, whatever. I'm getting dark with that. All right, before we head out, any final words about the deck that you want to bring up? Anything else you want to talk about from it, or have we kind of covered all the bases here?
I think this is a deck that if you guys go and you look for any information on this deck or deck lists for this deck, it's going to be hard to find stuff because this commander is so new. And if you look in the broader community on YouTube and all of your content creation spaces, you're not going to find a lot on this commander. It hasn't really hit the scene yet. So now is a great time to be playing around with it because you don't even need to do Angel Tribal. You could do Vampire Tribal with this card. You could do, you don't even need to do Tribal. You could do just Graveyard. It's good graveyard, good stuff. Whatever you would like. And just rope in that life game as a subtle theme for getting the deck off the ground. And you have options. So I don't think you're going to see Rodolf decks all built the same. This commander has so many, different dynamics that can be explored, and I think it's an absolute choice pick for anybody who's looking to build a white-black deck right now.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for hanging out and building this with us here today. I'm like I said, super excited to see it play out, and I appreciate you coming and spending a good chunk of your evening here with us tonight, so thank you for that.
Of course, and thank you for inviting me. It was a blast.
All right, if you want to let everyone know who you are one more time before we head out, feel free to do that now. And as always, I'm going to put all of Lion's links down in the description of the video. So if you're not already following them, make sure you go click on all those things, give them a follow, and show that support. But yeah, so one last time, if you want to let everyone know who you are and where they can find you, and we'll get out of your hair.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Lyonix. You can call me Lion. I am a Twitch streamer who streams Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, primarily Magic the Gathering at the time. I love Commander. Commander is my absolute favorite thing to do. I stream Commander games 3 times a week, and I am now very interested in exploring other avenues of Commander content on Twitch because this was absolutely a blast. Oh, yeah. So yeah, if you guys want, just look me up. It's Lyonix 1ionyx on Twitter, Twitch, even YouTube, but that channel's dead right now. Please just be patient, it's coming back. And yes, thank you for having me again, Corey. It was awesome.
No, it was a pleasure. Seriously, thank you so much. And all right, I'm going to pass it back to myself to do the official outro out of here. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Good night. All right, folks, that's the whole video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you. Maybe you build this deck for yourself. It's a neat commander. I'm really glad we built this one. I'm glad that I was able to have Lyonix on here to build this with me. Or actually for me to be here to build with him. Again, really fun, awesome commander, awesome dude to build with. If you aren't already following Lyonix on any of his socials, please, I'm gonna put all the descriptions I'm gonna put all the links in the descriptions below. Give him a follow, give him a shout, anything helps with all this. You know that. You know how to do the YouTube stuff. Like we crave validation. So just hit like the follow button, maybe. It'd be really neat. So that's it. That's all we got. As always, I have a Patreon. The $1 tier gets you a thank you in every single one of these videos, which you'll see here in just a moment. The $5 tier, anytime I do new stickers, which I have one coming down the pipeline. So don't worry, there's gonna be some stuff here. New stickers, new little trinkets and doodads. You're gonna be one of the first to get them. Sometimes I do free card sleeve giveaways for any $5 patron. So who knows? Something like that may be coming down soon with the new sticker design. Only one way to find out. So again, thank you to all the patrons currently. You'll see your names here in a second. And thank you to everyone just for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button. It really does help me a whole lot. So I appreciate all of you and everything. It's late still. I'm tired. I'm rambling. Good night. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you next time. Peace.